Hey, what's up everybody? Today we're going to be looking at the Hydrate Spark Pro, supposedly the world's best smart water bottle. It automatically tracks how much water you're drinking as you're drinking it and daily creates custom water plans for how much you should drink based on a slew of factors. We're going to get into if this water bottle is legit or not. And of course, as usual, if you find this video to be helpful, please hit like on it and maybe the subscribe. I do these types of videos and other health and fitness videos several times per week. My mustache would be very appreciative. I'm also going to put a link in the description down below to Amazon in case you watch this and you think to yourself, I like the idea of a smart water bottle. Ooh, it makes me feel cool. Well, then click that link, go check it out on Amazon. They've got a couple different designs and a couple different sizes you can look at. Okay, let's look at the construction and design of the Hydrate Spark Pro. So we've got this here. This is the 21-ounce bottle. This particular model comes with they call it the chug design. This is the chug. You can see that there. Now, I will say my only drawback to this design and this bottle overall is the locking mechanism. I mean, it works great, but if you notice the location and placement on it, it's right there in front of the little nozzle for chugging. So whenever you're drinking, your bottom lip has to sort of navigate around that. Not a huge deal. They do have a model that's a little bit more expensive that comes with more of a straw design, which in retrospect, I would have probably got that one instead. Not a huge deal, but something to maybe mention. Whenever we actually take the lid off, here is the lid. It has a little strap on here that doesn't really do much of anything, but here's the inside again. This is an insulated stainless steel, so it's really good for keeping water cold up to 24 hours. You can put ice in there. Of course, never put hot water in any of these stainless steel things that you're sealing up, because when you do that and then you seal them, pressure builds up inside of these, and then whenever you go to open it, you're going to cause a massive explosion. And if it's really hot liquid, you could risk burning yourself. So don't put hot liquids ever in these. Now let's look here at the bottom. So you can see Hydrate Spark here. Now the bottom where the actual readings, the electronic readings are taking place, this thing is what comes out of it. They call this the puck, and it just unscrews at the bottom of the bottle here. Again, I'll put that back in like that in just a quick turn. So this thing, whenever you charge it, it has the charging, I guess they call it touchless charging, where you don't have to actually plug anything into it. You just rest it on top of those sensors there. You can charge it. It charges quite quickly. And then once fully charged, depending on how many alerts and notifications you've got this set up for throughout the day, this can last up to almost, they say 14 days, 10 to 14 days. I've got mine set on minimal alerts. I don't need this thing lighting up all day and using up the battery. So depending on your settings will depend on how long your battery actually lasts. Of course, these bottles are BPA free. Now, as far as how do you clean them, well, the top, the lid, of course, is completely dishwasher fine because it's just nothing but a bunch of plastic. So this, you can put it in the top rack of the dishwasher. With any stainless steel bottle, you're never recommended to put these in a dishwasher. They're almost always recommended for hand wash, and obviously never ever wash it with the puck attached to it. Always completely detach that. Whenever you're done with this, make sure you dry this out real nice so that whenever you put this in, it's not catching any extra water or anything. And really, you should try to keep water completely away from this whole bottom area. But whenever you're washing stuff out by hand, stuff happens. But that is the design of the bottle. Now this again is the 21 ounce. They do make these in I think it's a 32. So if you don't want to have to be filling up water as frequently all day, it's a big jug, but some people might prefer that. But that is the construction and design of the Hydrate Spark Pro 21 ounce chug style. Now, one of the things I haven't mentioned up to this point is that whenever you use the Hydrate Spark Pro or any of the Hydrate Sparks, you have to also download the companion app with it in order for it to work. Now, usually whenever a product says you have to download one of our apps, I always just think like, I'm never going to use this app for anything. But it turns out that the app for the Hydrate Spark is not just necessary, but it's actually one of the best features and one of the most helpful pieces of using this bottle, because it's not only collecting data from the bottle as you're drinking it, right? But it's also collecting data from your phone, from other apps like your Apple Health app, from your Apple Watch. It's collecting data, biometrics, and things for there to help calculate what your daily targets and goals should be as far as water consumption. So let me take a minute and show you what the app looks like. Okay, here we are in the Hydrate Spark app. So this is the main screen. You can see here right in the middle, there is my progress for the day. The blue bar is how much I have drank today. The green is where I should be. So you can see I'm ahead by quite a ways today.
And so what happens is if the green gets too far ahead of the blue, your watch will start giving you some notifications, or your phone, or your bottle will light up. There's a couple of other things worth looking at on here as well. We got some stuff down here, some different things looking at like your streaks, how many days in a row you've hit your goal, how much of your goal you've hit today, how many more bottles you have to drink, hourly consumption, etc., etc. To be honest, I don't pay a lot of attention to this stuff. It's got a trophy section for like different things that you complete, but something I'm just not that interested in. There is a couple of other interesting things on here, though, is if you look at the settings section, you can go to goal, and you can see here that today the recommended for me is 134.8. You can adjust that on your own if you want to. You can see it says manual next to it. But if you want to keep it as recommended, you can hit the personal parameters right underneath it. You can go in and enter all this stuff, or you can get it imported from the Apple Health app. One of the cool things about this app is you can see here right in the middle, it does connect to several other apps. So if you use Fitbit or all sorts of different things, you can actually connect this to that and they can converse with each other. One of the other things that I thought was worth mentioning as well is here's where you'd go in and you can change some of your different settings as far as your notifications, how bright you want your notifications, things like that. And it also has where you can add a new bottle. Now, one of the hard things about having just one bottle is that sometimes you got to wash it. You just can't use it every single day. So if you wanted to, you could add in multiple bottles, and each bottle, depending on the day that you were using it, would still track within the same app. So that way, if you were cleaning one day, you could use the other bottle and continue tracking without any sort of interruption. But that's the general overlay, or whatever you'd call it, of the app itself. The main feature here is obviously the part where you're looking at how much water have I been drinking, and am I ahead or behind on schedule. That is the primary value of the app.
Look, I think that sometimes people put the word smart onto products to make them seem more exciting, and they're actually not that smart. They're just, maybe they have some lights on them or something, some fancy buttons, and they're not actually smart. So I was very cynical about, well, what's a smart water bottle? And to be honest, the only reason that I gave this a shot to start with is because it had so many reviews on Amazon talking about how much people love this bottle. I was intrigued, and I thought, let's give it a try. Now, it did say a couple of things that piqued my interest and maybe gave me an eyebrow raise, which was, one, it automatically tracks how much water you're drinking as you're drinking it. You don't have to do anything except literally take a drink, put the bottle down, and it tracks how much water you just drank out of your bottle and is now down in your gullet. I found that to be real interesting because one of the hardest parts about drinking a lot of water isn't the drinking, it's the tracking. And if this could do it for me automatically, that's a big win. But the other thing, the big thing that really caught my attention, especially as a personal trainer, was that this is supposed to come up with daily recommendations and targets and goals of how much water you're supposed to drink each day based off of a series of different factors like your age, weight, sex, elevation, amount of exercise that you're doing or have been doing up to that point. So instead of just saying, well, I need to drink a gallon of water a day and that's my target, this thing actually changes every day based off of you, your lifestyle, your environment, and that, to me, definitely caught my attention. A couple of other features that I thought I would mention here. One is that this base doesn't just look different. It actually has lights inside of here that will light up depending on the features and the interval of notifications that you want. But like, for example, when I refill my bottle and I set it down onto a flat surface, after about 10 seconds, the bottle will light up here on the bottom, letting me know that I have just refilled it. Actually, let me show you what that looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this water into here. Now, whenever you pour this water in and you do your refill each time, you're supposed to fill it up to the bottom of the threads, which I showed you just a second ago. And then once you've done that, then you set the bottle down on a flat surface. Whenever you set it down, the bottle recognizes that it's on a flat surface and it weighs how much water is now in the bottle, and then will light up here. Man, I am making a heck of a mess. Let's put this back on. You always have to put the lid back on. And so watch this. So I think it takes about 10 seconds. So that's the thing, is it does light up for different types of scenarios, whether it's a refill or if you're getting very behind on your water consumption throughout the day. It will also light up with different colors. There you go. That's letting me know that it detected the full refill. So it'll light up saying, hey, you're behind, or if you've hit your goal, it'll light up with some different things. You can change and customize not just the frequency of those alerts, but you can actually also customize the colors if you want to personalize it for, I picked blue, you can do rainbow colors, all sorts of different solid colors. So make sure I wanted to mention that too, because that is one of the best features. Let's get into what do I think about the Hidrate Spark Pro. Is it worth it? I've been using it, testing it now for a couple of weeks, and I'm ready to give you my review. So I guess if we're considering, is this worth it? We're looking at a couple of different things on the reason that we bought this for originally. One is, does it actually track the water that I'm drinking and help me keep better track? The answer to that is an absolute yes, without a doubt. In fact, one of the things about this and the way that it tracks is it didn't just track what I was drinking, but it also kind of shined a light on how much I wasn't drinking. And it really kind of made me more accountable each day to, oh crap, I've really been under drinking and I'm probably pretty dehydrated. So as far as from a tracking aspect, this thing has been so helpful in helping me to establish a daily routine to make sure that I'm getting enough water in. One, because I want to stay hydrated, and two, because as we've seen on the app, and it actually shows you how much water you've been drinking and how far ahead or behind you are each day. So instead of me just guessing, which is what I would typically do if I just had a bottle of water sitting somewhere that I was trying to drink all day, I can look any time of day and determine, based off of what time it is, am I ahead or behind of schedule? So from that aspect, it has been extremely helpful to make sure that I'm getting as much water in per day as I need to be getting. And the other part of that is the biometrics aspect of it, the different goals and settings for each day based off of my activity. Now look, people typically, whenever they are drinking water and setting daily water goals, they have a specific number in mind. I want to drink half gallon, whatever it is, and that's just their consistent number. But what this app has shown me is that based off of my environment and my lifestyle, that number can drastically change any given day. And that was something that I really hadn't factored before actually using this bottle. Sometimes I can see that number sway anywhere from 10 ounces up to 30 ounces on some days, depending on what I'm doing. So from that aspect, because I was so intrigued by that part of it, that has also been an extreme eye-opener that one size does not fit all whenever it comes to how much water you should be drinking. The lighting system has been helpful, helping to remind me several times throughout the day to actually grab my bottle and drink it in case I get too swept up in other things going on like work or family stuff. It's nice to have a subtle alarm like a light going off or a nice little bzz on my watch letting me know, hey, you're behind on that. So that has been extremely helpful as well. So in the end, is it worth it? Easy. Yes, 100%. I would not have thought that this would have had as much impact on not just the amount of water that I'm drinking, but the way that I perceive the amount of water that I'm drinking. It's no longer a one-size-fits-all situation. And without the Hidrate Spark Pro, I think I would have been just content trying to track my own water that I'm drinking each day and probably fail miserably at drinking enough, but B, drinking the accurate amount that I need to be drinking, whether that's too much or too little. I would not have been able to do that without the Hidrate Spark Pro. So is it worth it? 100% yes.